What are the best foundations for mature skin? I'm gonna tell you. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca. Today I want to give you an overview of some of the best foundations for mature skin or dry skin, even combination skin. Honestly, I know a lot of you that watch my channel are in my age group, so I do try to target that. But for the record, I think these work for a lot of skin types. With that, I've got a number of foundations, both from the Sephora category to the drugstore category and anything in between. So I will let you know where I found them as much as I can tell you if, you know, what price range they are. To give you guys a little bit of an overview, if you're new here, I'm 51. I have sensitive rosacea prone skin with areas of dryness, also kind of, I do get oily in my T-zone. I actually kind of think of it as glistening for summer. I get a glistening summer T-zone, and but I have a tendency to be just dry and sensitive, and of course I'm looking for something that looks great on my skin, that doesn't emphasize texture or fine lines. And I think that something that we don't necessarily talk about with mature skin is we always talk about wrinkles and dryness, but I think skin texture is also very important to consider when picking your foundation. Right. I think I'm going to go with not price range, but the coverage. I'm gonna use the coverage scale. So we're gonna go from kind of light transparent to more opaque. And I think if we were to start in the drugstore category for those, I just recently did a deep dive on these. I have both individual reviews on them, and I shared them in my latest round of Best of 2024 so far. So the foundations with a thin texture, a more serum light coverage, are the Wet n Wild Niacinamide Tint, the CoverGirl Clean, and the e.l.f. Soft Glam. This is actually more of a medium full coverage, but so far I feel like these two are both sheer yet disguise imperfections. They look lovely on the skin. They wear about 6 to 8 hours in terms of providing coverage that doesn't break down. As it does wear, it looks nice on the skin. Plus, these are very affordable, they're fragrance free, and they're just a very easy to use foundation. In the sheer category, and not necessarily terribly new, but worth mentioning because I truly think they created these formulas for a demographic of women that are just tired of dealing with a thick foundation or a heavy coverage foundation, and that is both the Jones Road What the Foundation and the Iris and Romeo Best Skin Days. Because I just think that we need to talk about having something that performs and serves a purpose that are very unique. So these are kind of niche products. So the Iris and Romeo, this Best Skin Days, this is a lovely formula. It almost has a moussey texture to it. It has SPF. It comes in a variety of shade ranges. And I think that it's just really beautiful for providing that one and done bit of, I want to help my skin look better. I want to provide a bit of coverage. I also need some moisturizer. And here we go, right? So I think that's what this is really phenomenal for. And then the Jones Road, you know, this is such a polarizing product. She knows that she's serving a population of clients and public that appreciate what she does. And so for the people who don't like this product, it's kind of funny because that doesn't bother her. I think there's enough people that love this product. So they've added to the shade range, and I have shade, do I have shade beige? You just want to go in there and put tint, but with moisturizer, and you don't want to think about it. There are some emollient waxes and the ingredients you can feel before they melt on the skin. And I just think it's lovely. There is a scent, and so there may be a reason for some not to. I think the Jones Road is more scented than this one. Actually, I thought this had a scent and it doesn't. So this is a more moussey formula, where the Jones Road is a more pudding. Look at me and my desserts. Oh, yes. So moving up into a little more coverage, but still we're talking very soft coverage. You guys, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This skin tint came out last year, but it's still considered new on Sephora's website, I noticed. You know, I always forget I have it. It is phenomenal because it is so moisturizing, and yet it's got coverage, and it's got a great shade range because it's Danessa Myricks, so she knows how to serve those shades. And I just love how it is very liquidy. It has just like what you need. Danessa has some very good performing products that help any skin, and so if you are a dry skin, we are going to go right over that, and it's so beautiful. I forget how beautiful it is. I might need to go up a shade here. This, as much as it is a skin tint that provides, it's a serum and it has moisturizing and hydrating, it's got the squalane, and it's supposed to smooth and correct. It is not glistening. It has such a beautiful skin-like finish without it being super shiny, not even matte. It's just a really, I forget how beautiful this performs. I really do. I need to remember that. And I have shade 4. It's just gorgeous. So the About Face foundation, this is such a phenomenal foundation. It's very affordable. It's very skin-like, but it's also got incredible coverage, but not bulky, not thick, not opaque. I think that is the difference between foundations of today and foundations of 10 years ago, even 6 years ago, is the opacity. It does not need to be as high to provide coverage. And I don't know exactly if that's a pigmentation thing. I don't know if that's an undertone thing. I'm not sure what is happening in product and development for cosmetic companies, but whatever it is, I really like it because I feel like we are getting a more beautiful, harmonized complexion without looking thick, cakey, and we don't have to work as hard to prevent that. Now, I think I've got, I don't remember, no, I think this is the shade that works for me, but I also know that it's still very yellow. But this foundation is so good, and I remember, look at the coverage of this. This is winter. This is a winter shade, and I forgot. I forgot how light this is. Maybe what I do today is go to Ulta and pick up a darker shade. This is very much, this is at Ulta, and yeah, so just know I didn't give you a good example of shade match. I realized that. I can't remember what's in my video. I think did I return the wrong one? I bought 2. I remember one was very much not my shade, and then I've got this one. Did I keep the one that I shouldn't have kept? I've got L1, I think, warm. All right, we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll let you know which shade that is in the description box, and then I'll look to see what shade I used in that video, so that we have the correct shade description, so that you guys don't, because it's a great line where it has a lot of shades to choose from, and I know that people with an olive and a yellow undertone enjoy it, but if you have kind of, you know, you're like peachy medium like me, you gotta be careful. So I really enjoyed this launch this year, and that's the Urban Decay. And so many of you said that you tried this and you loved it too. And I have shade 7. This face bond, it claims to be waterproof, well, water resistant maybe, but it's a long wear foundation, but it's thin. It has the powder in it. So if you're a mature skin or a dry skin, you might be thinking, is this really for me? Because it's got powder in it. And it is. It's for you because all you need is this and not powder. And that is why I think it's so great, because it self-sets. What I like to do is you can put it on with your fingers, or you can put it on with a brush. Your fingers are actually it says that your fingers will provide the most coverage and a sponge will provide the least coverage. I really think that's up to you and how you apply it, and exactly what sponge are we talking about here, right? They also have this, it's like a no mess technology on their spout, which I respect. So there is that. And I'm gonna put it up here for you. It really, really goes into the skin. And like I said, the powder's already in it, so it sets on its own. And I find that if you think it looks at all textured, in any case with your foundation, give it a minute. Foundation needs to warm to your body temperature, and then it looks better, right? Okay, how are we doing with, I think I'm okay with, I haven't really self-tanned my chest, so that's good. We'll just put it right over with the foundation. I believe this comes in 40 shades, so it's got a very comprehensive shade range, and it just looks nice. And if you want, after you have applied it with your fingers, sometimes what's the best thing to do is either take one of those cushion foundation pads and just go over and work it in. And then, or taking a foundation brush and doing this, just kind of tapping. And you will see that it really just does an even better job of blending into the skin and looking lovely and flawless. So Urban Decay actually has quite a bit of coverage. I really do. I think it's more of a full coverage foundation. You can create the coverage, how you apply it. So I think that is a high coverage. Now the next two, and these are my last two, and I feel like these are full coverage yet sort of between matte and radiant. And so depending on where you fall in terms of the finish you like, these are definitely options for you. And so for matte, which I think is a more satin matte, I don't think it is a dry matte. This is the It Cosmetics CC cream, and they created more shades, and it's no longer, at least if this CC cream doesn't have fragrance, maybe the other formula does. I have shade light, and a little goes a long way. it has this like moussey whipped feeling to it, you know, coverage. So in a way, it's a little bit like the Urban Decay because I think it provides really good coverage. However, it claims because Urban Decay is self-setting, because it has the powder in it, this says it's matte. I think this is a more satin finish. I feel like this one really doesn't create a matte finish on appearance. However, I think it's also another one that I don't need to powder. I don't really powder with this one. I think it's beautiful and I love it. I love how much coverage it gives me, how it looks good over any texture. Because remember, again, that was the thing that we were talking about, is texture. And I think all of these look really good on textured skin. That has been my experience. Now, there might be other people out there that will challenge me on that. Totally get it. Now, my next choice. So in this category with kind of a fuller coverage, that being IT Cosmetics, sort of a satin matte. Now we've got this Studio Finish Radiance from MAC. This one came out maybe even last year, but I feel like it's still recent and it's something I forget about, but it's a beautiful foundation. It wears well. MAC has obviously great shade ranges. I do remember though they changed it a little bit and it got me confused because my old shade, like the N20, NC20, was not working in this one, and it was almost like everything was opposite. But this is a beautiful formula. It is radiant. It has a lot of coverage. I mean, look at that. So sometimes radiant foundations, you think of them as being a thinner formula, a more transparent formula. This is very opaque, but not bulky, not thick, not clunky on the skin. I don't know what else. I'm running out of real estate here on my face. So I just think it's a beautiful formula, and I do have a full review of this, and it's MAC, you know, I mean, we forget MAC is a performance, a makeup artist line. And so the idea is that you can use this for every day or you can use this for special occasion, but you're gonna look amazing, you know? Let me see if you can see it more close up. And do keep in mind, I haven't put anything around my eyes, so I'm very veiny. I'm so vain. I know it's a little tricky because there's a lot going on here, but you can kind of see the Urban Decay really set nicely on my forehead. I've not used any powder. I didn't have any primer on, just my Dermatology SPF. And we've got this shade, these products here. Everything looks good. Everything is actually, what's funny is, except for the About Face foundation, everything is very similar in shade for me. So I feel like I did a good job finding my shade, right? Anyway, if I didn't talk about one here, but it's recent and you love it, I want to hear about it in the comments. And if you're new and you just subscribed, thank you so much, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed, I really invite you to. I would love that, I appreciate it. I hope you're well, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.